Well, hello everybody, and like I said, here's a video of me just kind of talking about what kind of progress I've made in my 100 days thing. So today is technically day 6. However, like all my days, I don't do anything until around 8 o'clock. So this basically encompasses days, 1 through 5. So what I've basically been doing, the first couple days, I basically just worked on a few character designs for a comic book that me and a friend are kind of working on called Space Farm. It's going to be more of a kind of a comedy, lighthearted type story. I did a few character designs for... I did 2 character designs for that. Then I worked on character designs for another little like space story that I want to do. That's for myself. And then these last couple days I've been working on basically what you're seeing behind me here, or behind... Why do I keep saying behind? Here up on screen is when I did the Flare mini comic for Skillshare. This was a 4-page comic that I started, and I only did page 1. So here you're seeing me inking some more on page 2. I've been working on these pages very slowly. I'm in no rush to get these ones done. But this is what I was doing. I was streaming this, actually. This is fresh. This was last night for day 5. So... just letting you watch me ink some stuff. So, I think his name was Mr. Gatz. Basically said, he wanted me to like do one of these kind of videos, except he wanted me to actually talk while I was doing so. Hey, you want me to talk? You want me to ramble? Here you go. You got what you wanted. So, basically, what you're kind of seeing here is just me meddling around with ink. I'm trying to get looser with my inks, and the more I've been inking each day, the faster I've been getting because I've been starting to be a little looser with everything. So... since this is a very cartoonic style, I'm realizing I don't have to be like super tight and super, accurate with everything. Just make it look nice, make it look cool, and just have it work. And that's what I did here. This video is going to go on for like 20 friggin' minutes, so be warned, this is a long video. But yeah, just some of the things I was doing was working on stuff like this where I just kind of inked as I went. Now, I've been... you saw the thing move there. Whenever I've been using my Cintiq, the button for Control-Z, for some reason it lags and it gets stuck to where, for some reason, it continues to hold Control, which in Manga Studio, if you hold Control, it temporarily switches you to the Move Layer tool, which allows you to move anything on the layer. So it's constantly moving stuff around, and it's just, oh my god, it just gets annoying. And sometimes it'll move whatever you've clicked on rather than whatever layer you're on. So it's very finicky. I was messing around with Manga Studio a lot over these last few days, just figuring out new tools. I finally figured out a few different things. Like, I figured out how to properly import Photoshop files into an already started story. And I already knew that Manga Studio could open Photoshop files, but it would always open them as a separate canvas, and I couldn't figure out how to import them until I found in the importing system within the story, you would import a page, and then you could import the Photoshop file, and it would bring over everything. So I was able to get page 1 in the way I had it in Photoshop, with all the layers, the colors, the textures, which really helped me here because it allowed me to grab some colors off of that one and pull them off over to this one. Now, the only thing I've been having troubles with is my monitor. My main monitor just kind of sucks. Like, it always seems a little different color-wise than the Cintiq. Now, I know some people complained about older Cintiqs like the 12WX having some weird colors, but for some reason, I always feel that the Cintiq I have, which is a 13 HD, is better than my monitor. The colors look so much more crisp. They look so much nicer. It's nowhere near as like stupid bright, even though I did turn the brightness up a little bit. But it looks nicer than my my eMachine monitor, which is an old monitor. It says HD monitor at the top, but it's not true widescreen HD. It's not 1080p. It's like 1440 by 900. Like that's its max resolution, and it's just getting old. And I think I need to get a new monitor, which I'm going to get a new monitor anyway. But I'm still going to keep this monitor just because I am going to have it as a second monitor, just chilling out for when I can throw chats up over there. Another thing I actually just bought today because I got some money from Skillshare. Aside from a few games which I bought, oh god, what did I buy? I bought Battlefield 4 just because I felt like having a modern shooter to fuck around with. I bought The Long Dark, which is a really good survival game. It's actually it's weird. It's peaceful, kind of calm, but still kind of, oh my god, I'm like freezing to death kind of thing. Because you're lost in like the Canadian, it's like a harsh winter in the Canadian Northwest. And you're basically just wandering around, trying to survive, trying to find food, water, warmth, stuff like that. And it's just one of those things where you can see how long you can go before you just die from the elements or from wolves, because wolves will kill you stupid fast. But anyway, I bought that. And then I also bought The Forest because a friend of mine had The Forest and he saw that it had co-op, so I bought that for like 20 bucks. So even after all that, I still had plenty of money. Like, I had more money than I really thought I was going to have. So I also bought a wireless keyboard mouse combo from Logitech because I wanted a wireless keyboard and mouse because I'm getting tired of reaching over my arms and like not having my mouse so I'm just like, you know what? Wireless setup so I can have it the way I normally have it here for gaming and regular computing. And then I can easily, when I switch over to the tablet, I can just pick them up, move them over, pop, plop them down. And they're right where I need them to be. On, the mouse will be on the right side of the tablet, the keyboard will be on the left side of the tablet, which is exactly what I want because, my left hand's free. I'm not drawing with it, so I'll always be able to get to my shortcuts quicker. So any shortcut that I don't have mapped to the Cintiq itself, or if I need to type something, it's right here next to me. I don't have to dick around with anything. So I like that. I also cleared up some space on my desk for that, so it should work nicely. But yeah, I bought that. And I still have money left over, which I don't know. I might save that for the end of the month when I get my YouTube money. And then I'm going to try and buy a monitor. And then with the wireless setup, it'll make it easier to have the monitor because I don't have to worry about the cords being in the way and getting caught and snug on things. So that'll make things a lot easier. It'll also save some cordage on my desk, which, man, there's a lot of cords. So, wow, I've been rambling on, and it's only been 7 minutes. Holy crap. So that's basically all I've done, really. That was actually today. Me buying that was today. Buying the game was a couple days ago. I was playing The Forest with my buddy. That game is really fun. I was playing Long Dark, which is actually really fun. It's very slow and kind of... It's nice and peaceful for me, because it's something I can do by myself that doesn't take, like, tons of time or a ton of effort, and, like, I don't feel like I'm being rushed to do anything. When you're playing games like Battlefield... And, these more fast-paced games, you feel more energized and rushed, and you got to, like, be on your game, which is good once in a while, but sometimes when I want to just kind of chill, I want something that I can just chill with and just play and be calm with, like Minecraft and all. So, I like those types of games, and that's why I have those types of games, so I can just kind of chill out. So what else can I talk about? I've been keeping up with the 100 Days with a few other people, just trying to keep up with who I can. Mostly guys, Kevin Cross, Gats, Peter, and all. Like, I'm trying to keep up with them as best as I can. Mostly through the 100s group on Facebook, which is where I've been kind of keeping an eye on here. This is something you're watching here. I'm making this symbol for Flare, who's this main character. It's literally just an F. It's like a yellow F on his chest. And what I'm doing here is I'm doing it off screen, or not off screen, but off the regular picture, because I'm going to turn this into a material. And this was something I learned to kind of replace paths, the paths tool from Photoshop. You would make a path of like a building front, and then you would just keep moving it on to everything and just reuse it and then warp it. You can make a path, or not path, you can make a drawing, and you can turn that directly into a material. As you can see here, I'm just dragging the layer over, which has nothing but that thing on it, and boom, you got that material. Anytime I want to use that F, I can just grab it, drag it in, boom, done. It's there. It's wherever I need it. So when I'm done this, I'm going to drag it onto his chest and on the chest of the previous panel before this one. So that's just something I've been doing. I've been doing it with the windows in the first panel. You can't see here obviously because I don't have that panel showing very predominantly. But oh my god, I am really tired. Oh man, why am I so tired? My sleeping schedule's been like really messed up. I woke up at what did I wake up today? I woke up at like 8 or 9, so in the morning. But yeah, The materials are really helpful. You can see there just by looking at the materials, I have a bunch of them. I have windows and stuff like that, and I'm going to keep making more as I go along. And I probably should have cut this long pause out, because there's a long pause here that I'm probably typing to somebody. I was like meaning to go through this whole thing and cut out any long parts where there was like nothing going on, and like, what the heck am I doing here? There we go. Get back in and work. Oh my god. I have moments like that. That's why I don't really upload the streams, because there's a lot of moments where I just stop and like I'm talking to people or something. So anyway, yeah. So I like the material system. I've been trying to find materials online, but they're really hard to find. So I think I'm just gonna find some like buildings. And one thing that Jonathan Rector kind of brought up when I was talking to him about it is, oh, excuse me, I just ate lunch, so I'm gonna be burping a little bit. Is that with the paths tool in Photoshop, you can actively affect the thickness of the lines, because you're not putting just a line drawing down, you're putting the path and then you stroke the path at whatever line width. With the materials, it's not the same thing. You're dragging whatever you had drawn. So whatever thickness it was at, it'll be that thickness, which is why I always make the images really big so that, you know, it'll be really thick and then I can shrink it down. But, you know, he brought up a valid point that you can't really adjust it. You'd have to manually adjust it afterwards, which, for me, I don't have a problem with, because I've already just saved a ton of time just dragging that over, you know? And for me to just take like a couple minutes, you know, just to use the, you know, hold shift, click, 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 you know, a few times, or just, you know, adjust things a little bit here and there, it's not really a problem. Especially with my simple style, it's really not something that it's not enough to make me go, oh my god, I still need to use Photoshop. I don't want to use Photoshop, period. And if I have to do this so I don't have to open up another program just to do something, then so be it. I want to do everything in one program, because I just don't like the fact that I have to open up another program to do something. So I'm fully willing to, you know, deal with that if it means I don't have to pop open another program. I can do everything in the one program. So in my case, that's kind of the deal. And it doesn't take that much time. Like, it really doesn't. It adds maybe in like an extra minute to your, you know, whatever your process is, which is not a big deal to me. So yeah, here you just see me ink more. The one thing I did cut out at the end of this was at the end of this stream, after I'm finished this page, which doesn't come for it doesn't come for a while. How much longer did I go? Do I have another pause moments where I just did nothing for a while? Like there, it's done. Now I just gotta add all the colors, which is probably gonna take me like an extra like minute or two. Oh no, I gotta add the F. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Anyway, at the end, I cut it all out because I stopped streaming, or I didn't stop streaming, but I stopped because I was trying to do the background for that panel, because that panel right there, the one that I'm just now editing here, it doesn't have a background. It's just blue, and it has like those these little like gloom, which is the material I used, or not the material, the effect I used. It was called gloom. Kind of like when you read manga or, you know, watch anime, and they have like those characters like, oh, why? And then they have those like lines behind them that are kind of like above their head to like show this like gloomy effect. That's basically what I did here, just to kind of give that effect of that kind of, oh god, why kind of moment, you know? That's what that panel basically is symbolizing, which I think you're going to see me doing here, where I'm trying to figure out how to do it, because I'm like, oh, I know how to do this, but I can't remember, you know, where the tool is. And it took me forever to figure out like where it was and all that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, so you can see here that I finally figured out the tool. I can't see, but it's a gloom tool. It's one of the line tools. And you can see here, you literally just make like a circle to depict where you want it to go, and it's just straight lines. Like, you can pick which direction it starts in. But this is the effect I was looking for. So that was just kind of that gloomy effect that I was trying to go after. And I finally got it when I finally found the freaking tool for it. There's a lot of things like that was working, but in that last panel, we'll talk about now, just to kind of let you understand the hell that I went through yesterday. I wanted the next panel to have a background, because you'll see I'm going to put some sweeping lines here eventually, in a minute here, after I've colored. I think after I color it is when I put the sweeping lines. But in that panel, he's just, you know, stopped in that second panel there. He's stopped, and he's like, oh, why, kind of thing. And then the panel after, the last panel, he kind of does a little bit of a backflip swoop, flying backward, you know, flying to go off to where this guy is, because you can see him here. He stops in midair from this first panel, and he swoops back to fly. So behind him, you're technically going to see buildings, because you're going to see the you're going to see him at kind of a bird's eye perspective from above, because he's doing a backflip, basically flying, you know, when he's flying. But that requires one of the guys in the stream kept saying I should just use 1 point perspective, just do it simple, 1 point, blah, you know, all that stuff. And I'm just like, I don't want to be that, because I don't think it would look the way I want it to look. When you're above the buildings, 1 point perspective just isn't going to work right. So I was like, no, I'm going to do 3 point perspective. And oh my god, why? What is with... I could not figure out the 3 point perspective for that angle. And the guy, you know, with all the help he was trying to give me, like, he was trying so hard to help me and get me to understand, like, what he was talking about. But I'm just sitting here staring at what he was doing and, like, how he was doing. I'm just like, that doesn't look right. Like, it visually just looked nothing like when and I even brought some pictures that I found online and showed him, and he kept telling me, like, where the perspective points would be. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're wrong. That's not where they look like they should be. And I'm staring at these pictures going, no, I see that there's a point here, and a point here. But everything, and he was just like, we were confusing each other at that point, and it was just not helping. So by the end of the stream, I just said, fuck it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a freaking 3D model, and I'm just going to do it that way. So I have a 3D model of, it's kind of a 3D model of New York, but not really a 3D model of New York. It's literally like a bunch of, like, freaking squares and rectangles just in like, it technically has all the places of where New York is. Like, it has all the buildings, but they're not detailed. They're not, you know, they're just rectangles representing where pieces are. So I literally was just like, okay, I'm going to do this in here. I'm going to figure out the perspective visually. I'm going to see visually with my eyes how I want this to look. And so I did, for the most part, and I put it into Manga Studio. You're not going to see it here because that's what I'm going to work on tonight. Hopefully that guy will show up again, because I need him, because I'm going to have him look at the picture of what I found and be like, all right, let's figure out where the fucking perspective is on this thing. And we'll see how it works and how it lines up the way, because 3 points perspective is just stupid. The way people try to explain it, of where you put the horizon line versus where the 2 points or the 3 points go, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make logical sense based on what is visually happening, and that's the problem. So sometimes I get to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I just want it to visually look good and make sense visually. I don't care if if I technically put the perspective lines in where they accurately are 100% supposed to go. I don't care, as long as it looked good. Even here with the hands that I'm inking here, I didn't care if this looked right, or if it looked 100% like what it should be, because technically he has a glow around him when he's like flying. Because in order to fly, he has to use his powers to like move his body up in the air and keep himself up. And when he's actually propelling himself, he's basically pushing himself, like he's shooting energy out the back of him to throw himself forward. And the energy that's around him is just keeping him up. It's just keeping him from like falling. Once he pushes himself forward, then it's just momentum. He's got the energy pushing at a slight down angle. That way he's, not falling. He's just going forward. So technically that's not how the glove should look. The glove should have an outer glow. The glow should be on the outside, because that's where all the light's coming from. It's coming from from around him. But in this case, I was just like, you know what? I just want to go with visually looks like, because that's my thing, is if it looks cool, I don't care if I'm breaking a rule here or there. I don't care if it looks cool. And that's the only thing I will ever say is like, yes, I broke a rule, but does it look cool? Yes, then shut up. That's as far as I go. And now with these hands, I might mess with the hands again later, just because with the way that hand is positioned, I wasn't 100% on some of the areas, mainly where his pinky is, where the pinky and the fat of his palm is. I was sitting there staring, going, that doesn't look right. So you can see there, it just looks kind of wonky. So I might mess with that and might just black out more of it. So we'll see. We'll see what looks good. But yeah, tonight I'm going to be working on this page again, but I'm going to be working on the background for that panel, and I'm going to add the glow effect around him I'm going to finish the first panel by adding the rest of the windows and proper coloring. Then I'm going to do what I did in the first page, which was add the effect, the dot effect that I have, which is literally just a random, like, you can't see it there because it's not there and it's moving really, really, really quick, but there's a dot effect. Oh, and I also edited the page to add the blue background proper because I didn't like that green. That green just looked weird. And of course I was correcting an error there. But yeah, correcting shit all the time. But it doesn't matter. I was adding the blue in the background because I like the blue that I did on the second page better than the blue I did on the first page. So that's why that looks a little different. But yeah, it's just things I've been working on, things I've been just trying to fix and fuddle with and all that good stuff. So once I add the glow tonight, I'm going to add this glow effect. I'm going to finish that first panel. I'm going to finish that last panel because I want to get that last panel proper. I'm basically using the 3D model as a guide, and I'm going to lower the opacity and just draw all over it to get the final stuff. But you can see that, oh yeah, I zoomed in there. You saw the dots. It's literally just black dots that they're black dots that I lowered the opacity so the color could come through. I'm going to do the exact same thing here. Now, right here I kind of stop because I think I'm talking to somebody. But here I do kind of this, I think I'm about to do the swoopy lines in a minute. Yeah, I'm showing him what I was talking about. But I should do the swoopy line here in a second, which is actually what I wanted to do. And this is basically it. This is all I did. And that's what I'm going to finish tonight. But yeah. I guess that's about it, actually. There's nothing else to ramble about, and the video is almost done. So thank you for watching. Thank you for anyone who shows up to my live streams. I do them at 8 o'clock every day. Every day for the 100 days, 8 o'clock, you're going to have a stream. So just remember, that's Eastern time. That's 8 o'clock Eastern time. So make sure you show up if you want, and, you know, join me in the streams, and we'll have some fun and figure some stuff out, and maybe you'll be a part of the next issue that I find here. Yeah, here's the swooping lines I was talking about, and of course there's more control errors. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.